Good Saturday morning, everybody. It is April 4th, 2020, 8:45 a.m. And I have not been to bed yet. Citizen journalists are out hitting the streets. Boots on the ground. Checking these hospitals because, mainstream media is showing us these hospitals are crowded and they need more ventilators and people are dying, and we've got ships docked, one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast for all these people. You're not going to believe some of the stuff you're about to see, but it is the truth. And I thank God for people who are out there doing this, because if I wasn't bedbound, oh, you can best bet I would be out there, even though we're under the threat now of a $1,000 fine and 90 days in jail. No wonder they released prisoners, preparing the way for new prisoners who get the truth out to the public. Let's watch this video, because that's what this is about. It's about getting the truth out there. Let's look at some truth here under fair use.
Ultimately, how many coronavirus patients have you seen? How many? You don't know? 2? 100? 3. You've seen 3.
So again, there are no lines of people. There is no mass chaos out here, contrary to what the mainstream media is telling you.
How do you know they had coronavirus? Do you guys test in the ambulance? You don't know. You assume. Symptoms.
Can you blame Americans for wanting to verify the truth when networks like CBS are doing things like this?
Cases are being found right here. Crowded subway cars may have accelerated the spread. New York's governor says FEMA gave the state 400 ventilators. To that, he said this.
What am I going to do with 400 ventilators when I need 30,000?
So when you're watching this from CBS, the slant, is the great need for the equipment. We don't have enough equipment. So the crowded ER shot demonstrates we have an epicenter of this disease in New York, and we don't have enough. We need 30,000 ventilators. But the only problem is this footage has already run on Sky News on March 22nd, talking about Italy. Yeah.
This is the main hospital in Bergamo in Lombardy province. It's one of the most advanced hospitals in Europe. But it's the most hard-hit of all the hospitals.
Once again this morning, the city's hospitals will be on the front lines in this war against the coronavirus. In Elmhurst, Queens, that hospital there, lines of people lining up already this morning for about the last 45 minutes. Confirmed cases, people waiting to get tested. Supplies are in demand there.
Somebody said there will be hordes of people inside. That's why I didn't go in. Let's see. The doctor with his mask on and everything. Look at that. Nobody. Completely empty. This is police, no EMS, nothing. Nothing, absolutely. Ghosts. That's all they got you afraid of, ghosts.
With the growing number of patients as supplies dwindle, you can see barricades behind us set up here outside of the hospital to keep order here because so many have been lining up every day to get tested.
Where's the long lines of the people trying to get tested? I don't see that.
I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what it looks like here in New York City. The mayor, the governor says our hospitals have been turned into war zones. Well, I want to give you an idea of what that war zone looks like here in downtown Brooklyn. So this is my neighborhood. This is the Brooklyn Hospital Center. And again, you're hearing one thing on the mainstream media, and this is what it's like in reality. This is where people normally stand up to get tested. testing for the coronavirus. But as you can see, not much happening. And this is a hospital that serves thousands and thousands of people here in downtown Brooklyn, New York. There are no lines of people. There is no mass chaos out here, contrary to what the mainstream media is telling you.
Here's those tents they had set up. This is what you saw on the news.
At Elmhurst Hospital, lines of people outside wait to get tested. A refrigerated truck has now been brought in here, a makeshift morgue.
Here's the refrigerated truck for the dead people, but no action.
Ambulances have seen a surge in calls, responding to nearly 5,800 Thursday.
All parked ambulances, no patients, nobody's rushing anywhere.
In fact, we got a couple of ambulances here waiting to be called into action. Here's some busy, crazy busy guys. Yep, they're on their cell phone, watching Netflix.
And officials say this, unfortunately, is just the beginning, with the crisis expected to last for months and the peak of it all still on the horizon. We are live in Elmhurst, Queens this morning. Rena Roy, CBS 2 News.
Rena, thank you.
Nothing, absolutely. Ghosts. That's all they got you afraid of, ghosts.
Hello?
What? Oh, no problem.
Phyllis and William Mack Pavilion here on 7th Avenue. There's one guy in the waiting room. It's not too crazy. And as you see, there's an emergency sign, open 24/7, and new people.
We control the disease by controlling the information.
You can't protect the public by lying to them.
It's done every day.
Walk-in healthcare clinics around the state say they've been overwhelmed by the demand for coronavirus testing, causing frustration.
We were overwhelmed yesterday with the response to people wanting testing.
Urgent Care Hawaii says its drive-up service was deluged by requests for coronavirus tests, some waiting as long as 4 hours.
Here's my question, guys. What's the game here? You're smart people. Why are they whipping us into a panic? Why are they lying about massive lines of people at testing centers? Night after night being told there are these long lines of people being managed at the urgent care, that they're being overwhelmed.
Some waiting as long as 4 hours.
Actually, the president or CEO of urgent care, while I was in front of the place, was telling me, we're doing the best we can, managing these massive lines. I'm like, I'm here, lady. And there's no lines.
As you can see, the ER, the hospital, is not overwhelmed. Where are all these sick people at for this quarantine? Hospital number 2. The first one was Norton East in Louisville, Kentucky. And this one is Baptist East in Louisville, Kentucky. The first one had nobody waiting in the waiting area. 2 nurses are sitting at the desk. The quarantine tent where they take the test was empty.
People look at the testing centres. This is what they're telling you testing is going on in. Where's the testing? They're empty. They're abandoned people. There is no testing going on. Where's the testing? Where is it? The show that's getting put on for you. Leo and Coveney and Simon will be down out for the photo op soon and have loads of people with masks letting on to be coming in to get tested. Look, there we are. There is no bloody testing. Right down to the end, look. There is no testing going on in these tents.
The quarantine tent where they take the test was empty. We're going to see what this one's like. Let's go. As you can see, waiting area is empty. Hi. I'm just looking for my family. They were supposed to be here already waiting. It might be at the other hospital. Nobody's in there. Nurses are just taking an easy day.
We were overwhelmed yesterday with the response.
I just want to know why urgent care doesn't want me to document. They're lying on the news about being overwhelmed with lines and testing all these people. They're taking state money and they're not testing anyone. They're taking our money. Look at that line, officer. You see that line? So are these the overwhelming lines that you guys have been lying to the people of Hawaii about? I'm a journalist, and this is going to be a column, and it's going to be read nationally. That's great. About how you're lying, that there are massive lines. I never said there were massive that you're doing.
We were overwhelmed yesterday with the response.
You tested 25 people here yesterday? You know what? You said that. You didn't test 25 people.
Okay, you're videotaping people.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I got nobody going in. Are you the CEO of Urgent Care? Wow, you must be upset.
So it seems like people all over the world are sick of lies in the media. So sick of it that they've decided to do something about it. They're on the scene doing the work that the now so-called approved news outlets should be doing. I myself went to go pick up some food at a local restaurant to help those guys afloat during this unprecedented attack on our small businesses. And the CFO of our local hospital happened to be there as well. And she said that the hospitals were not only completely dead, but that they were, quote, burning through cash like mad, end quote. So part of the reason that the hospitals are empty is because they've canceled all the elective surgeries and things like that. They say, of course, to keep the huge influx of virus folks separated from the public, but
something's going on, folks, and it ain't a virus.
As you can see from this footage taken by one of my subscribers, by the way, who's an attorney, all over California and the greater LA area, which is meant to be more hard hit, right? First to be put on the lockdown. There's no long lines of people dealing with virus present. The parking lots are eerily empty. And I'd like to applaud all these folks with the ability to question what we're being told, who have enough desire for truth to get out and verify it for themselves.
And you guys don't know anything about where the testing is being done? I haven't found a single place that'll test anybody. Do you know? Yeah, they have lists, and then when you go there, they say no.
While my inbox is a nightmare right now, so I want to ask, please don't send me more videos of this kind of thing with the hospitals, unless you can also provide a link to a contradictory news report of the same location that is covering an event that you can disprove with your own on-the-scene footage. Now that I would like to get, but just random video footage of hospitals, I'm afraid that would overwhelm me a little bit. This guy here from Germany had the cojones. He walked through the whole hospital to show the world it is completely empty. And he did comment that the hospital workers were also very dubious about this whole theory as well.
Das ist alles übertrieben und so. Das, was in den Medien berichtet wird, das können Sie nicht nachvollziehen, dass sich das nicht deckt mit dem, was hier tagtäglich passiert.
Oh, and I thought this was really interesting. For those who don't already realize that there is a CORONA, California, and there is a Corona Regional Medical Center within it. And of the over a dozen hospitals this guy ran around diligently checking out, this one too had zero evidence of lines of people getting tested or evidence of chaos. But what it did have were big signs out front surrounded by orange that said, "Hospital Disaster Drill in Progress." Drill, huh? Interesting.
Wow, you guys. Busted. That news right there, can you believe it? They used old footage from Italy claiming on a different date America's epicenter when it was Sky News reporting from Italy on March 22nd. If you don't wake up now and see this is all one big lie, then I don't know what is going to wake you up. I had a doctor's appointment made 2 weeks ago. Well, I got a voicemail left for me yesterday. They've canceled my appointment because they're just, you know, keeping it open for any patients that might have, you know, symptoms of the COVID virus. I have videos that explain to you that viruses are not alive. They're not alive. So therefore, they cannot be spread from human to human. They cannot live on surfaces because they're dead. They're not alive. Please watch those videos. Educate yourself on what a virus is and what it does and does not do. The only way you can get an actual virus from someone else is if they inject you with the virus, as in a vaccine, or a dirty blood transfusion. On our own, from toxins, from the air, the processed foods, chemicals we breathe, our own body will cause viruses to happen within us, within our cells. That's why we get sick. It's our body's way of trying to detoxify itself, and we feel horrible. That's a viral infection. Bacteria, on the other hand, can be spread, and bacteria is alive. But this coronavirus, they're saying it is viral. Well, viruses are not alive. Therefore, you can't kill something that is already dead, nor can something that's not alive live on surfaces or be transferred from human to human or dog to human. Period. I did my research. I highly suggest you do yours. This is proof right here. The news is busted using Italy's footage. They've got the military all over. Who do you think it's for? This is the globalist New World Order takeover, people. That is what is going on. This was done by design. They've been planning this many, many years. You have proof right here. You need to wake up. They are destroying our country. They are destroying the world. They are destroying the economy on purpose. All this social distancing, staying in your homes. If you leave, we're going to fine you $1,000 and throw you in jail. They are violating our rights. We have a rogue, tyrannical government, people. People better use their rights, because we are not going to have them. We're not. Share this with everybody, and I mean everybody. Upload it on your channels. Upload it. Even if you're not a content creator, upload this. Let people see the truth. Drive by your hospital. Record it. Bust out the cameras. They're doing this by design. We will run out of food by design. This is all for them to have their new world order that many presidents have talked about. Please check my playlist. Videos are there with the truth from doctors. Look at the pinned comments. Experts who are questioning this coronavirus panic. Doctors who are telling you viruses cannot spread from human to human. They are not alive. Share this. Tell everybody you know. Enough is enough. People of the world, Americans, you need to be pissed off at what they're doing to us, our children, and our grandchildren. This is not a conspiracy theory. Here is proof for mainstream media is lying to us.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Global Watchman News. My name is Lori Swan, and today is Thursday, I think, April 2nd, 2020. I hope you all are doing well. I want to take this opportunity to welcome everybody in our chat room. Please feel free to share information, talk amongst yourselves. And we have moderators in there to guarantee that we stay within the guidelines of YouTube so that we can continue to use this platform to bring you, broadcasts like tonight. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please take the opportunity to hit the subscribe button. Hit that little bell and let you know. Well, it's supposed to let you know when I go live. Apparently, our little bell is broken, and I don't know how to get it fixed. But nonetheless, click it anyways. May work for you, it may not. But welcome. Tonight's topic is kind of interesting because I ran across a video. And it brought back, well, let's rewind a little bit. Okay, so you guys know that I've been saying from the beginning that this whole coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, CB19, does not make sense. If you are honest with yourself, you will know in your gut that there's just something off. And if you hear anybody in the background, that's Dave. We are eating a very late dinner tonight because, we were kind of lazy today. But so he's at the table here. But so we know that it's just things aren't making sense. Over 30,000 people have perished through or due to the influenza A and influenza B since October 1st of 2019. And yet, well, that's not a pandemic. But you now know this one is. If you're going to believe the numbers, it spiked to 1 million people today. 1 million people have been infected or affected, infected by this virus. And yet we're still getting reports from hospitals that are vacant. So guys, things just don't make sense. We've got the military moving around. We are in basically quarantine, so whether it's self-quarantine, whether your county, state, or local officials have got you on lockdown. The thing of it is you're in your house. We're in our house. We're not going outside. We're not interacting with nature, or we're not participating in what's happening in the outside world. So a number of things are happening that we're not even aware of. So a lot of these things don't make sense. So I ran across a video today that kind of brought back a little bit of memories. Now, I did go live earlier on Facebook, and I did talk about this, but I wanted to get into it just a tiny bit more. So if you were over on Facebook earlier, I apologize. This is probably going to be a repeat for you. But now what I'm talking about is an event that I started researching back in 2012. And the reason why I started researching it in 2012 was because there was a comet that was coming towards Earth. And you guys maybe remember it. It was a little tiny comet that, we all remember, or I hope you do. His name was Ison. Well, I started researching it because people started talking about the Hopi prophecy of the Blue Kachina. So I started looking into that. So today, when I ran across this video, which I'm going to play for you in just a moment, because that's how it's going to start us off here, it brought back those memories. And I was like, oh my gosh, this all makes sense now to me. This whole COVID-19, this whole lockdown, this whole military movements, our political officials are being moved to Cheyenne Mountain. Continuity of government is kicked in. Then yesterday, when President Trump took the podium, his presidential seal was gone, which it's been gone, guys. I understand this. And it actually disappeared on the 13th of March when he instituted the national state of emergency. But something very interesting yesterday was he was surrounded by the military and the flag was gone, which states that possibly we're under military rule right now. Which is, guys, what is that? Everybody, class, all together? Martial law. Thank you. So, Dave gets a star for participation. So, when I ran across this video today, guys, it all made sense. The Q saying there's going to be a blackout. People talking about, these 10 days of darkness coming. So yeah, and follow along with me, guys, because at the end you're going to go, this makes sense. Let me get to the video first off that we're going to play. Okay. This video is, his name is John X Army. I'm going to put, as I always do, excuse me, the link to all of everything that I'm going to show you guys will have in the link in the description area below. But let's start this video for you guys. Pay close attention to what he's saying. Be right back.
All right, welcome to the channel. I'm John X Army. Today's video is going to be a whole lot of speculation, and I would love your input at the end of the video. I would love to read your comments, maybe help me sort things out a little bit. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to step back from everything that's happening and see what their next move is going to be. Now, who remembers a year and a half ago when I was working with Mr. Patriot and the historians? What was the one thing they were screaming? What was the one big event that was going to kick off the NWO FEMA takeover, the one world government takeover? They were screaming a blackout, either nationwide or worldwide. They were talking about maybe even a fake alien invasion or a fake asteroid threat, a fake CME, coronal mass ejection from the sun, as being the event that might spark the NWO takeover. You guys remember that? And then we thought that the plans were thwarted because there was never any blackout. It hasn't happened yet. No plans have been thwarted. It hasn't happened yet. Mr. Patriot and the historians were way too early, okay? Now hear me out. Tom Hanks comes out on 3/11. 33, right? Mentions he has COVID. All these celebrity members come out admitting they have COVID. It's a message. It's a message to those in the know to get to your bunkers because it's about to go down. Now, think about the predictive programming. Wendy Williams, fake pass out on stage, probably paid to do it, dressed as the Statue of Liberty. Madonna's 2019 Eurovision performance, where it shows New York crumbling in the background. What's the one piece of her performance we haven't quite decoded? We saw the peasants in gas masks that she was killing. We saw the crown on her head that could possibly represent Corona. But what's the one piece that doesn't really fit yet? Madonna turns around and blows fire on all the peasants. And it shows in the background, it looks like the sun burning really hot. You guys remember that part? Predictive programming for a CME. Now, let's link in one more piece of information. Who remembers all the solar observatory closures? Why were they closed? Were they closed so that people wouldn't monitor Comet Atlas, which is coming in near our sun right now? You guys tracking? The whole world is on lockdown right now. Troops being positioned all over America just for COVID-19. You guys believe that? What if the big event is about to happen? And what if either real or fake, they're going to blame C19? C19 is what they've nicknamed Comet Atlas. This comet, with its gaseous cloud, is supposed to be half the size of the sun. They're saying by the end of the month, it's going to be the biggest, brightest thing in our night sky, and it's heading towards our sun. What if either real or fake, this comet is going to cause a CME, a coronal mass ejection from the sun, that's going to knock out all power? And then asteroids are going to rain all over the planet, which might be real or fake. They might actually be missiles, destroy things like New York. And they're going to blame it all on a comet or an asteroid. And the whole world was locked down while they waited on the event to happen, elite in their bunkers, military all in position. So right after the big blackout, right after the CME or the asteroid or the fake asteroids, everything's in place to restore order in our world. I think it's a good possibility that this lockdown is way bigger than the COVID-19 virus. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. I actually had a dream last night of all these pieces to the puzzle being linked together. So I don't know if they're right or wrong. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on what I'm thinking. I love your opinion, and it'll help straighten me out. Thank you. Hit the thumbs up. It really helps me out. YouTube, man, YouTube's killing me, you guys. Hit the thumbs up so more people see the videos.
All right, and we're going to have an opportunity to thumbs up John X Army, because I'm going to put the link in the description area below. I want you guys to go over and show him some love. What do you guys think about that video? He brings up a lot of good points. A lot of good points that make perfect sense with what's going on. This is what we are seeing right now in the sky. This right here. This is C19. A comet 5 times the size of Jupiter is on its way toward our sun right now. If this were to impact the backside of our sun, it could possibly send a CME out the front towards the Earth. I know, Dave just said this is a really cheery show tonight. But it's important because I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to play this. I'm going to mute it out, but I'm going to play it while I talk. These are solar flares, or these are what are known as CMEs. And they're what it's called. Why does it keep popping up? Where is it? There was a Class X CME that took place in the 1800s. And this, it was in 1859, knocked out, pretty much put it, let's just say that if it were to, if that CME were to hit, that Class X CME were to hit Earth today, it would throw us back into the dark ages. It would completely wipe out all forms of modern technology. Communications satellites, communications, GPS, internet, phones, TV, radio, you name it, we would be back into the dark ages. And that happened in 1859. Now, the Blue Kachina is a prophecy. And it is through the Hopi Indians. And the Hopi Indians say that the Blue Kachina, or the Blue Star Kachina, would signify the coming of the beginning of the new world by appearing in the form of a blue star. Again, this is C19 right now. It is the form of a blue star. Now, if this were, and these are ifs, guys, because I'm not an expert. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know what's going to happen 2 seconds from now. But if this were to come around and hit the sun from the back, it would put a CME towards the earth like we've never seen before. Completely and totally put us into the dark ages. The blue star Kachina goes on to say, the ninth and final sign of the destruction is described by White Feather as, quote, you will hear of a dwelling place in the heavens above the earth that shall fall with great crash and will appear as a blue star. And very soon after this, the ceremonies of my people will cease. This idea of the blue star Kachina making the end of all Hopi rituals is reflected in Waters' book, Book of the Hopi, in which he states, quote, the end of all Hopi ceremonialism will come when the Kachina removes his mask during a dance at the plaza before annihilation of the children. His absence of Hopi ceremonialism will coincide with the destruction of the fourth world, which is what we live in today, according to the Hopi. Waters suggested that World War III would begin in the United States, that would rip apart the U.S. by war, leaving only the Hopi and their homeland intact. The war would end, as described by Waters, as a spiritual conflict with material matters. But he also suggested that an asteroid impact on Earth would lead to this extinction of humankind, leaving the Hopis behind. So when we look at the blue Kachina, and we look at the CV-19, and we look at the events that are going on, okay? We look at the military movement. We are locked in our homes, and CV-19, COVID-19, C19. That's the name of this, guys. Now, there's a difference between comets and asteroids. There's a definite difference between the two. But no matter the difference between a comet or an asteroid, the effects would still be the same if it were to impact our sun. Let me just put that back a little bit. I'm going to put that back just a little bit, and I'm going to stop it where I need it. Whoops, a little bit more. Boom, right there. Now, this little dot in the middle here, this little circle, that's the sun. And this coronal injection is coming off of the sun. You can see this white spot. And right here is the Earth. Right here, it's Mercury's closest, then over here, up here is Venus, and then this blue right here is Earth. Now watch this coronal ejection coming off the sun. Now think of the impact of an asteroid coming from the back of the sun and hitting the back of the sun. And this, like I said, this coronal, there you go with the coronal ejection again, coming and then hitting the Earth. We'll watch that. Let me slow it down for us. Okay, ready? Let's watch. See that? Why did not slow it down? Playback speed. Oh, that's why, because I sped it up. Don't worry. Slow it down. Here we go. Watch this. So it would come and hit the back of it, and boom, there goes the coronal ejection, and it hits the Earth. And that, my friends, would put us into a dark age. Now, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I don't know. But considering the events that are happening right now, again, we're locked in our homes. Military is being moved. And then John, ex-Army, he talked about the possible signs that we've had. one of the Hopi, the prophecy says that before the Blue Kachina star becomes visible, that there would be a web that would surround the earth. Now, I'm going to put this out there. I don't care if you are a flat earther or if you are a globetrotter. Okay? It doesn't matter. You cannot deny that there's something in the sky right now that is coming. You can't deny it. So when the Hopi Indians said that there would be this web that would surround the earth. Oops, wrong one. This is not a picture of 5G, but this is kind of representation of 5G, because I couldn't find one that wrapped itself around the earth, but we're going to pretend that this is the 5G. So the 5G was just, and now they're pushing for the 5G. While we were locked in our doors, they're out there setting up the 5G. Wuhan, first, 5G. You guys heard about 5G. I've talked about 5G. Everybody out there's talking about 5G right now. So the 5G wraps itself around the earth. Like I said, I don't care if you're a globetrotter or if you're a flat earther. There's for your globetrotters. Here's for you flat earthers. Actually, this one's a little bit better. Looks like a spider web, doesn't it? Actually, this one right here is 5G. So that part of the prophecy that they said would happen before the Blue Kachina would be visible. There's a lot going on here. They've got us locked away for some reason. Don't know what it is. I don't happen to personally believe. Hold on. Do you want more? You want some? Take it. Here. Sorry, guys. Dave's creeping over, grabbing my plate. You can have it. It just, this doesn't make sense. And like I said, if you're going to be honest with yourselves, you would have to say, and you would have to agree with me when I say that there's just so many things about this whole lockdown, this whole event, be quiet, that doesn't make sense to us. And we've talked about this numerous times, guys. This isn't new. Atlas they are calling it C19. Massive comet 5 times the size of Jupiter and about half the size of our sun. If you've got something 5 times the size of Jupiter and about half the size of our sun, possibly, and I'm not sure how fast it's going, but it hits the back of our sun, you can bet your dollar, last dollar, that there's going to be a coronal discharge on the front side of the sun. All this all this talk about 10 days of darkness, all this talk about, hold on a second, Dave's got a question. Yes?
Yeah, how do we know which is the front and the back of the sun?
Really? The asteroid, comet, whatever you want to call it, is coming. They said that it's coming from the back. If you look at the orbit, don't make me pull up the orbit, Dave. You guys can, all right, I'll pull up the orbit. Comet Atlas. Pull up the images. Let me pull up the images for him. Okay. Please watch your plate. Let's find it here. That was Bob. Here we go. Here's, oops, wrong one. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. Here we go. Here's Atlas. Okay, so Atlas is going to come around. He's going to come around the side. He's going to come around the back of the sun and then back out into space. That's supposedly what he's going to do. but he's coming from the backside of the sun. So I don't know. I have no idea, guys, what's going to happen. But it's very interesting. It's a very interesting prophecy to take a look at. Like I said, I came aware of it back in 2012 when ISON was visible in the sky, and we started looking at that. And, you know, it's just one more aspect of looking at what things are going on. Now, let me show you this one. This is the actual this is actually the video of it moving, taken with a telescope that was sent to me. That is actually Atlas. That is actually C19 moving through the sky. And like I said, guys, here's the thing, is whether you're a globetrotter or whether you're a flat earther, it works both ways. If you are a globetrotter, then, you know, well, I don't have to tell you how it's going to work. You know, it'll just, that's how it'll work. It'll come from space. It'll hit the sun, boom. You know, it'll hit the coronal ejection will hit the Earth, and we'll be hit with a class XXX CME. I don't know. I don't even know what you would call it, because it would be far more than the 18 whatever it was, class X that hit the Earth. It would be far more detrimental than that. It would actually be an ELE, an extinction level event. So, hold on just a second. But if you are a flat earther, then this is where the fallen angel technology would come in. This is where the technology that we know that they have. We know that they have earthquake machines. They know that we know that they have tsunami machines. We know that they have, you know, he had mentioned about rockets being used to make it look like asteroids were coming down and hitting the Earth. If you were to do a search on Google for the Illuminati card game on the asteroid, here it is right here, you can see that they're saying that a meteor strike is going to come, and it's going to hit the what it looks like the eastern coast, off the eastern coast of the United States. What's interesting to me is that when you do a search of the Illuminati card asteroid game, you also get these cards that come up: early warning, tidal wave, volcano, World War III, Messiah. These all come up. Look at this. Combined disasters. It's another card that comes up when you just do a search for the Illuminati card asteroid game. We know there's been tons of predictive programming, Armageddon, Deep Impact, things like that. There's all kinds of movies out there that you could definitely say are telegraphing us, or they are definitely giving us signs that something of this event is coming up. Whether it happens, I don't know. But like I said, guys, they're keeping us in our houses for a reason. Why? Well, maybe because they don't want us looking up at the sky. Maybe they don't want us seeing this thing getting brighter and brighter. And, you know, I don't know. We shall see, won't we? But again, John X Army made a lot of good points. Military being moved into place, put us in our homes. So yeah. All right, guys, that is a quick one tonight. I do want to put a thank you out there to my new research team. They rocked it today. I went live on Facebook earlier. I put all this information out there. I then went to them and I said, I need help. I said, I asked Dan if he could, make a special room for us to, so that we can, I can throw what I need out there and you guys can put it up there. And they did. They rocked it. And I want to thank those guys. I want to thank all of them. And a lot of them are in the chat room today. You guys, you made my job 1,000 times easier. And that was my hope for creating that team. Thank you so much. So I'm going to go into the chat room. I'm going to see what we got here. I saw one. Let's see. Oh, see, you guys are the best chatters. My goodness. Left eye of Ra. Is an asteroid going to kill us? I don't know. Is it? I have no idea. But looking at everything and seeing, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I would put it this way. I would be much more apt to believe that a asteroid is going to kill us than COVID-19. I'll just put it that way. Do I have a date? Good question. Let me see. I believe they said the end of April, kind of about the same time Trump is saying that this whole event is going to be over. Yeah, right here. It's pushing towards a level that by the end of April, we could be looking really, really stunning. Let's see. It'll be visible by the naked eye, or with the naked eye by April. It's currently shining like an 8th magnitude star. They said by the middle of April, the end of April, it's going to be next to the sun. It's going to be the brightest object in the sky. So, just kind of reading here. I'm going to put all the links for you guys to take a look at it. You guys can, try to do a little bit more research. I'm just putting a few of these facts out here for you guys. But yeah, kind of an interesting take on it. Kind of seems to be what I've been doing lately, is just kind of putting a new spin on there for us, and kind of just showing us things that I don't think too many people are seeing. So, all right, y'all, that's going to be it for tonight. It was kind of an unexpected live stream. I really wasn't planning on coming live tonight, but I had so much response from going live earlier on Facebook to talk about this topic that I decided to bring it over here so I can get you guys' opinions. Again, I'm going to put all the links in the description area below, and you guys can take a gander at all of that. Until next time, guys, be safe, stay healthy, and God bless. Good night.
It's been a nightmare in Hollywood blockbusters for years. Asteroids hitting Earth. Or at least threatening to do it.
I want to know why we didn't see this coming.
This morning, our own close call. A giant asteroid buzzed past Earth, missing us by about 3.5 million miles. Sounds like a lot, but in cosmic terms, that's too close for comfort. About 15 times the distance of the moon from the Earth.
So it's not going to pose any hazard to us, but it's a reminder that there are objects that are out there that are large, that could potentially cause a threat.
The giant rock, according to NASA, has a diameter of about 3,200 feet. That's just about the height of the Empire State Building 3 times over. Space watchers say they've been monitoring this asteroid for years and never feared it.
Space is really big, and the possibility of one of these objects ever coming close enough to actually hit us and cause a problem is really, really low. So we're not in any danger at all.
Asteroids this size can do serious damage. If one hit Earth, it could set off a nuclear winter with all the dust it would shoot into the atmosphere, destroy everything around the impact zone, and set fire to part of a continent. Just ask the dinosaurs. Their mass extinction is blamed on an asteroid strike 66 million years ago.
Of the world today stunned by this image. This was debris from a meteor racing toward Earth, streaking across the sky there, crashing into the ground in those woods. And look at some of the other images emerging tonight. The cloudy trail the meteor produced, and on impact, this, carving a little pool into a frozen lake. It's the biggest meteor in more than a century to hit the planet. This one crashed in Russia. 1,000 people were injured from shards of flying glass and debris. Tonight here, we have learned there was no warning. More on that from NASA in just a moment here, but we begin with ABC's Kirat Radia in Moscow.
It came out of nowhere, a bright speck in the sky, soon streaking across the horizon, followed by an almost apocalyptic scene, a blinding flash of light, and then all hell broke loose. Dizzying explosions shattering windows, knocking these office workers to the ground. These students were lucky, protected by curtains from the flying glass, and these men barely escaped the blast. In the streets, pandemonium. Terrified residents thought the world was ending. People started to panic. Somebody screamed, "The end of the earth," he says. The chaos of the meteor was captured on cell phones and on dashboard cameras of cars, so popular here in Russia. The blast was so powerful it knocked down a wall at this factory. In all, over 1,200 people were injured, mostly from broken glass. 3,000 buildings damaged, over 1 million square feet of glass shattered. Many were injured after going to the window to check out the flash in the sky. The glass shattered and bounced back on me. My beard was cut open, this man says. The meteor was believed to be about 50 feet wide, weighing a whopping 7,700 tons. That's about the same as the Eiffel Tower. It raced towards Earth at over 40,000 miles per hour. As it crashed into the atmosphere, it began to break into pieces, causing those booms and sending those powerful shockwaves towards the ground, rocking a zone stretching hundreds of miles away, those shockwaves causing all of the damage. As for the pieces of the meteor, one of the bigger chunks landing here, leaving that massive hole in the frozen lake.
Tonight, about 20,000 Russian troops are headed to the affected area. They'll be helping those residents who are struggling without windows. Temperatures are expected to drop well below zero overnight. Meanwhile, Russian television coverage has been going wall to wall with what some commentators said looked like a scene out of an action movie. David?
Kirat Radia leading us off from Moscow tonight. Kirat, thank you. And this, of course, comes just as last night here we told you about the asteroid barreling toward Earth. That was something completely different, not to be confused with this meteor. Today, the asteroid was in fact streaming toward Earth, and as predicted, it missed us this afternoon by about 17,000 miles, but that was still pretty close. And so tonight, we wanted to bring in Amy Meinzer, an astrophysicist. She joins us from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory there in California. Amy, thanks for being here. And when we saw those images out of Russia today, we all wondered, could this happen here?
It's possible that such an event could happen again. This was actually the largest fireball that we've seen in a long time, since about 1908. But there could be others that happen that we just don't see because they happen over the ocean or over someplace that's not populated.
This image caught our eye too. Look at this. This is the Earth here. All of those dots are space debris up there. 21,000 pieces orbiting the Earth. That's a lot of stuff not too far away.
Yeah, that's right. So there is a lot of space junk out there, and we're working really hard to track it and you know, keep showing where it's going to go and what's going to happen to it.
I want to move to this next topic because
it goes right along with it. Yeah.
When you and Doc told me today what you were working on, it was so surreal. I mean, it's not. Yeah, we know that this is going to happen in the last days. The Bible tells us about a mark that's going to be on people's bodies. They're people being forced to enter into a financial system where nobody can buy or sell without the mark of the beast. So when you told me today, this mark of the beast project that Microsoft founder, billionaire Bill Gates is proposing in connection to the coronavirus outbreak, I just had to close my eyes and say, dear God, we're closer to the end than any of us realize.
So we've had our eyes on Mr. Gates from really the news that broke about Event 201, the pandemic coronavirus scenario, virtual scenario Mr. Gates ran and funded. And one of the things that caught our eye today in looking at what he's been doing since, Rick, he has now offered what he claims is a solution or a path to ending the virus. In addition to this lockdown scenario that he's proposed, he has also been working behind the scenes to create a quantum dot tattoo. A quantum dot tattoo. And where I first read about this was at a website called Biohack Info. They claim to be a news source that covers biohacking, which is the augmenting of the human body. You put in chips, you try to enhance the body through gene editing, cybernetics, basically putting the machines inside you. That's what this website specializes in. Well, in this post, they decided to discuss something that Bill Gates had done on Reddit. It's an online social media forum. On March 19th, he did a question and answer session. You could ask Bill Gates anything. He basically was open to the world to ask both about coronavirus or anything that was on your mind. Well, during one of the questions, Bill Gates was asked, what can people do about the onset of social distancing? What can we do to maintain society? What Bill Gates said was eventually we will have some digital certificates to show who has recovered, who had been tested, recently tested or tested in progress. And we will have a vaccine and a record of this, of who has received it through that digital certificate. And it turns out in December, this is an article from the Science Alert. It's quoting actually Science Translational Medicine, a journal. This was published on the 21st of December of last year. It's titled An Invisible Quantum Dot Tattoo Could Be Used to ID Vaccinated Kids. Well, this project has researchers at MIT and Rice University with funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation working to create that digital certificate system. It's going to be a chip that actually is implanted into humans.
A mandatory vaccine, but the vaccine is going to carry the mark of the beast implant. And every person is going to be ordered to be vaccinated. And anybody who resists vaccination obviously will be ostracized from society, but possibly could be imprisoned for refusing an order. And parents will see their children taken away from them. I mean, Bill Gates, He's always been a vaccine freak, but now he wants to implant a digital device, a microchip, a nano-sized microchip in the vaccine. This is stuff I talked about 15 to 20 years ago, and people said, "Oh, that's too far out. That's crazy. They would never do stuff like that." But here we are today, and it's reality.
Oh, but it was at the Mobile World Congress Hall, Rick, where you and a couple members of the team saw something that was shocking, and it ties right into this Bill Gates nano tech. You want to talk about this, Rick? You were there.
That's
you
right.
saw this live.
Oh, we were in the front row, and the man that you see there on the left, he's actually having a microchip implanted in his hand. That's his hand on the screen. And we were sitting there in the front row and watched the entire thing take place. Now, interestingly, Mobile World Congress did not allow the news media to bring in TV cameras that year. And we were wondering why they were prohibiting us from carrying cameras. It wasn't just us, it was all media. But that's our video. We did that. That's our video. Well, what did we use? We used our mobile phones. Like, duh, it's a mobile phone conference. And every phone has a camera in it. And they were banning TV cameras. So we used our mobile phones to record what they were doing. And after that man received his microchip, they brought another man on stage who had previously been microchipped. They couldn't use the first man because they needed, I think they said 24 hours for the infection, in the hand to go down, because his hand would be inflamed for a period of time. But they brought in another man, brought him on the stage who had been microchipped previously. And in real time, we watched him, there it is. He transferred money. There he is. He's putting the phone to his hand, and money is now being transferred from his bank account to another bank account. We saw it happen in real time.
Well, Rick, there's another tie to the Mobile World Congress to the initiatives Bill Gates is promoting. In addition to this quantum dot tattoo, Bill Gates has also been a huge proponent of the ID 2020 project. Now, the ID 2020 project has basically worked with Microsoft, have formed an alliance with the United Nations and the Mobile World Congress through the support of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Remember, you've been to so many World Congresses now at this point. You remember seeing those sustainable initiatives, those sustainable goals, the SDGs, yes. The Sustainable Development Goals, put up on the side of the walls. There's huge, basically presentations for it. They even had it at Davos. Well, this initiative that Bill Gates is pushing, the ID 2020, that has the goal to take a system like maybe even the vaccination system we just said, to have an ID for 1 billion people, if not maybe 7 billion. Right now they're starting with the poorest people in the world, but they want everyone to have a digital identity, one that can be tracked, one that can be watched, one that can be controlled. But the article I mentioned first, number 21, Biohack Info, in this blog post that they published, again, the title, Bill Gates will use microchip implants to fight coronavirus. They had a section in here that stated, currently the most feasible way of implementing digital identity is either through smartphones or RFID microchip implants. The latter will be Gates's likely approach, not only because of feasibility and sustainability, but also because for over 6 years, the Gates Foundation has been funding another project that incorporates human implantable microchip implants. The project, also spearheaded by MIT, is a birth control microchip implant that will allow women to control contraceptive hormones in their bodies. Mr. Gates has at least 3 projects he's working on simultaneously toward a dystopian future that we've read about in the Book of Revelation.
Remember the meeting back in 2010 that Bill Gates attended? There were about 10 billionaires.
With Oprah?
Yeah, Oprah was there, and Bloomberg. About 10 billionaires met in New York City to discuss pooling their resources together to reduce the Earth's population. And that was reported on the front page of the Times of London. Now, that happened to be the night that we did that show last month. That was our very last True News Godcast on YouTube. In the morning, they canceled our account. They blamed it on us talking about Israel, but it wasn't about Israel. It was about overpopulation. We got very, very close to what was really going on about coronavirus. And here we are today, and you guys are connecting the dots and showing that Bill Gates wants to track every human who's been vaccinated with a coronavirus vaccine. And he wants to put a microchip in the vaccine, a nano-sized microchip. It calls it a quantum dot tattoo. This guy's an enemy of the human race. He's an enemy of Almighty God.
Well, I'm just reminded of the scripture from Revelation chapter 13, verses 15 through 18. And it said this, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man, and his number is 666. And the only thing I would say at this point for our audience, for our viewers and listeners, is that you see so many things that are coming into play that you read about in the book of Revelation, that things are being fulfilled that I never even imagined that I would actually be able to see in this day and age. That I was always trying to figure out, Rick, what scenario that would be where people would be forced to have a mark to buy and sell, where people would be begging to be marked, where people would be begging. Because I hear so many people out there, well, no, I'll never take the mark, I'll never do it, I'll never receive a mark at all. But if your life depended on it, really, if a deadly virus was infecting the world and your life depended on it, would you? Would you have your child do it? Would you have your husband or wife do it? And so these are questions that really we all need to be asking again. What is the price of our faith? What is it that we're really willing to give up in order to live for Christ, to live for God? Because we may be approaching that very quickly, just based on the information that we've shared here on the Godcast today. How quickly could they implement quantum dot tattoos? I would think probably pretty quick. If everyone's begging, I don't want to die of a deadly virus, I need to be vaccinated, people would line up for it, wouldn't they?
The most cutting-edge thing about Hannes Huerblad isn't the phone in his hand, it's the microchip actually in his hand. The tiny implant is the latest advance in a biohacking technology that is steadily becoming a part of normal life in Sweden.
We have created a new implant, which is not a chip, it's a full device where you can add different lights, different vibration, different functions. Sweden is a very tech-literate society. And I think this is the main explanation, really, why a lot of Swedes are adopting chip implants.
Swedes haven't been shy about upgrading themselves with the new version. Thousands already have microchip implants that they use in their daily lives, waving their hand to gain entrance to the gym, confirm their ID or make payments. A short moment of pain not putting them off becoming part Swede, part machine.
This event is an implant party, simply where ordinary people can show up and get a microchip embedded under their skin. The biohacking movement in Sweden is hosting them all over Europe, but it's at home where they get the most willing recipients.
I think it's really cool. You don't have to carry any keys or anything. It's just your body. In maybe 10 years, everything will be in your hand.
In Sweden more than anywhere else, the future is already here. The national train company Essier has around 2,600 people signed up to use microchips instead of train tickets. And no need to mind the generation gap. 18-year-old Felicia and Father Magnus still bear the scars of their new implants. Student Hannah Herving is also freshly chipped and now just needs to program it to open doors. Although importantly for a future career, it does already connect to her LinkedIn.
Some people say I'm mad that I don't know if it's safe and all that, but people have been putting these chips into animals for 20 years, so I'm not worried about that.
The long-term goal is for the new chips to help provide medical care in remote communities. They're already getting under the skin of the Swedes and may soon become just another normal part of modern life and of the human body. Paul Rees, Al Jazeera, Lund, Sweden.
Don't forget that to contact me for any reason, you can find me on Facebook by searching for Curtis Minister Roach. Minister Curtis Roach. Or our page, The End Time Watchman. Just leave me a message and I'll reply at my earliest. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel and be blessed by the hundreds of videos available to you. Please feel free to share any video to help us spread the good news of Jesus Christ. You can also follow me on Twitter at Roach_Curtis. Should the Lord continue to tarry, see you next time. God bless.
Sound the trumpet now. Hear the Father says that is coming. Don't get left behind. Don't get left behind. The rapture is coming. Don't get left behind. Don't get left behind.